Hello there everybody, the Hat Person here, and welcome to my top 10 most favorite games or greatest favorite best games of 2014. I still don't know how I'm gonna call it later on. I'll probably just say top 10 games of 2014. My own personal top 10 list of 2014. It seems that December was the month of top 10 list because every single place I go, everywhere is just top 10s everywhere. But hey, I've never done one myself, so I guess it's my turn to shine and I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Now, again, I do want to reiterate, this is going to be very brief. It's going to be like vlog kind of stuff. I'm going to put it out as a scripted video because technically I do have a script. I have my list right here and with a brief little synopsis of what I want to say and talk about in regards to the game. But it's going to be very brief, I just kind of want to mention the kind of games that I personally enjoyed in 2014 and some honorable mentions. Don't think that just because it's not on the list that I don't care for any of the other games. There are a lot of honorable mentions that I want to talk about. Now, again, briefly, I don't want to make things too long. I mean, I spend most of my time talking ad nauseum about just like one game for hours. So, having to talk about like 19 different games in one video is going to be a little difficult. So I'm going to have to compress everything that I have and just be as brief as possible. So anyway, without further ado, here we go. Here's my top 10 most favorite, most enjoyable, best games that I liked in 2014. So here we go. Number 10, we have the Jackbox Party Pack. Woo! Little, we're gonna have like a little bit of clapping in the background. No, actually, no, it's kind of like a vlog / thing, whatever. But hey, we're gonna keep it simple right now. I'm in a bit of a hurry. Jackbox Party Pack is number 10 on my list because there's actually 5 games in one pack, made by the fantastic Jackbox games. I mean, I've always adored You Don't Know Jack, just the one game I played on Facebook all the time. I just bought the PS3 copy of it very recently, and, I always have fun with it, no matter what, even with questions that I've already heard of. Just the style and the recurring jokes and all of this, just the way that the questions are handled. I really love how they managed to make it feel like, this kind of game show behind the scenes sort of thing. It just feels really nice. It's something that you really need to experience for yourself. And playing with other people on multiplayer, those kinds of games like You Don't Know Jack, Drawful, Fibbage, all of those games, it's incredibly fun. And that's coming from a guy who doesn't like to play with other people. So yeah, take that what you will. Number 9, we have Senran Kagura Shinovi Versus. Now, I know that a lot of people are going to open their mouth and be like, what? That game? Well, yes, I did like it because that one actually blew my mind. That one actually surprised me in many aspects because, obviously any average person would look at the game and be like, oh, it has boobs in it and it's just a bunch of fan service and it's crappy, stupid anime bullcrap. But I actually tried to look beyond that and I found a very well-made, it could be better, but it is a decently made, fun, addicting game. It's kind of like Dynasty Warriors and Bayonetta put together, but it's more compressed and it's a lot simpler, but there's a lot of different nuances that make it more complex. You have 20 different characters, 22 if you include the DLC. They all have different ways of playing. Not super different, but a little bit different. The graphics look really nice for a Vita game. You can play it on your PS TV, which it blows it up and it looks really good. Obviously the fan service is an acquired taste, whoever, it kind of goes both ways. People exaggerate like, oh, it's just boobies all over the place, but after playing the game for 20 hours like I did, you just get desensitized, you get desensitized towards it, and you don't really think anything of it. You're more focused on the game than the actual boobs, because after you see the same animations for like 10 million billion times, then you don't really care anymore. So yeah, this is actually a fun, addicting game that I'm actually excited to see more of. I feel like this game could improve so much more, and it could become a much better series of games for it. So yeah, I'm in support of that. I really enjoyed that game. I beat it 100%. You guys will be seeing my Let's Play of that later on. So yeah, number 9. Anyway, number 8 goes to Shovel Knight. That one, I played it on my 3DS, and I do not regret it a single bit. I love, shifting all of the items with the touchscreen. I love just the platforming, the art style. This is the kind of, retro-style modern game. It is retro in aesthetics, but it's very modern in gameplay and in mechanics, A lot of indie developers do, like, the whole retro-style thing, but it's more like a parody of everything. There always has to be, like, a Zelda parody. There always has to be, like, my princess is in another castle, ha ha ha, lol, that kind of stuff. Stuff like DLC quests, like very crappy, really poor taste. Look, we're old, that kind of stuff. But in Shovel Knight, it just keeps the old look, but it does something completely new, something that is very enjoyable, very fun to play more than once. The battles are great. The story is a nice thing that keeps you going. Just the world that was created is very interesting, and I would love to see more of that. It's a fantastic game. You can play it in a whole bunch of different places. 3DS, Wii U, PC. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it. Number 7 is Lisa the RPG. Now, I've been raving and just in excitement about this game because, Austin Jorgensen is a guy that is very difficult to figure out. Like, I don't know how his mind works in order to make a game like this be so awesome. It's a game that was promoted on Kickstarter, and it very quickly made the goal. And I saw the trailers, I saw the music, I saw some people play the demos of it on YouTube, and I thought that it was a pretty fantastic game. It was basically a more mature, more adult version of Earthbound, where, the fighting system is very similar, with some, creepy stuff in the background, and then, like, the enemy standing still, being like, this guy has attacked you, and, it's very unique. It has a lot of really mature, really dark themes, but they're handled so well, and also the humor in it, as much as there's dark stuff, there's a lot of really funny, really humorous stuff in the middle as well. There's a lot of references to wrestlers. The combat is pretty fun. There are a lot of party members. There are a lot of big decisions that affect you in a big way. You can, like, sacrifice a limb, or you can sacrifice one of your characters, in exchange for, like, money or items or something of the sorts. Yeah, it's a very, it's a powerful game. And I feel like it's an important game that people need to play. Again, it's a very kind of obscure, kind of indie sort of thing, but I played it and I loved it. And if you want to look at it more in detail, go watch my checking out video on Lisa the RPG to know what I mean. Anyway, number 6, we have Transistor. So, you guys have all seen me play it on my channel, and there's a lot of things that I kind of rant about on that game, but that is just a fraction of the game. Everything else is absolutely fantastic. It has a very elegant, very intelligent, well thought out combat system. The way that you can combine your powers back and forth. The art style is amazing. It's exactly what I would expect from Supergiant games. Also, the music by Darren Korb is absolutely phenomenal. I sing it to myself every day. Like, I have it on my phone. I have the soundtrack on my phone, and I listen to it all the time. Everything is so magnificently well put together with a lot of love and attention to it. Logan Cunningham, again, voice acting the sword. It's absolutely fantastic. The story, I think Bastion had a better story, to be honest. But, Transistor story is also pretty good. I like the lore behind it. I love the kind of adventure that is happening, like, during this weird apocalypse thing. Is very intriguing, and I really don't expect anything less from Supergiant Games. It was a fantastic game, and I highly recommend it. Number 5, we have Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U. I only have a 3DS, I don't have a Wii U, but my brother has a Wii U, and he's moving in with me very soon, so, yeah, I'm gonna be able to have it here in the apartment. But I did get an opportunity to play it on Wii U, and I thought it was really good. If I had to, like, bring up a definitive Smash Brothers game, kind of in the same way of how I think that Pokemon Emerald is, like, the best definitive Pokemon game. Well, I think Smash 4 is the biggest definitive one. I've been playing it on my 3DS, like, you have no idea. I have unlocked all the characters, I've tried to do all the challenges. It's a hell of a lot of fun. All of the characters, all of the references towards the characters, the stages, the music, the remixes, oh my god, there's so much to do, and I still haven't even done, like, half of it. And that's just like the 3DS version, not even talking about the Wii U version that looks way better. The stages are way more epic. You have like a character creator, what was I gonna say? A world builder. You have a stage builder. You can go online for glory, for fun. 8-player Smash, amiibo support. There is so much stuff, It's kind of like Fallout 3. You can just keep playing that game forever, It's so many things, That's definitely the kind of games that are worth buying a new console for. I highly recommend you get in a Wii U and buy Smash Brothers, because you'll probably play that game for the rest of your life. Now let's see what's next here. Bayonetta 2. Speaking of the Wii U, we have Bayonetta 2 here on the line on number 4 of the list. This game really caught me by surprise. I played the first Bayonetta, and I thought that it was really good. Like, I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. I feel like it was a really good idea, done very well, but I still thought that it kind of lacked a little bit more. Like, I feel like it wasn't fully fleshed out. Like, it was fleshed out, but not as much as I thought it would, or I expected it to. And then Bayonetta 2 came out, and it completely squandered and destroyed my expectations, because it's so much better than I thought it was going to be. You know, just the brand new look to Bayonetta, the music is a lot better than before. I didn't really think much of the music before. I feel like it got improved here. All of the different new abilities that you have, the weapons, the shop, the different costumes, like the Link costume, the Princess Peach costume, Samus Aran costume, which I think my personal favorite, the Star Fox costume. Just, the story is really nice, even though there's like this one annoying character, but it starts to grow on you for a bit. Playing it on the WiiU gamepad is actually very comfortable. It's not as bad as people imagine it being. Let's see what else. The graphics look beautiful, 60 FPS, seeing all these giant big landscapes, and everything is very consistent. There's no lag, there's no flubs with the graphics or the frame rate or any of that. It's very well made, and if it weren't for Nintendo funding the whole thing, this game would probably never existed. So, yes, I know that a lot of people have already talked ad nauseum about Bayonetta 2, and I'm going to say it here again. Buy this game. It is wonderful. It's definitely one of the best games I've played in a long time. I'll tell you this much. I sat down playing Bayonetta 2, and then I stood up again, beating Bayonetta 2. I sat there for like 7.5 hours, and I beat the entire game in one sitting. That's how much I liked it. Anyway, let's move on to the last 3 that we have on the list. Number 3 is Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. So, yeah, as you guys all know, considering that I have a full-on Persona 3 Fez series on my channel right now that I'm bringing back very soon, by the way, and yeah, I've already talked a lot about Persona 4 as a game. Is my number 2 most favorite game of all time. And so seeing Persona 4 turn into like this 2D fighting game, I was very intrigued, because I love RPGs and I love fighting games. So I'm like, oh, both things fused together into one thing. Wow, that is amazing. And so I played the first P4 Arena, and I thought that it was great. And now I'm playing P4 Arena Ultimax, and man, I've been picking my nose a lot, I'm sorry. But, I'm sorry, it's cold, itchy noses. But, yeah, P4 Arena Ultimax I think is a fantastic game. It improves on the first P4 Arena in almost every single aspect. You know, in characters, in the moveset, in the graphics, not so much. It got bumped up maybe a little bit, but not too much. But everything in terms of mechanics and gameplay, all of the online stuff, you know, just the different challenges that you can do, the tutorials, a lot of the characters got tweaked to have different attacks. They all got improved by a lot. Brand new characters from Persona 3! You know, that's my stuff right there. I feel like I have a bigger connection with P3 than I do with P4, even though I think both of them are magnificent. But yeah, you got Yukari, you got Junpei, you have Akihiko, Mitsuru, Aigis, and you also have brand new characters. You got Margaret, you have Adachi, you have Marie, you have all of those. And, that is like my Smash Brothers, you know? When everybody was excited about, oh, you know, they're putting in Palutena in the game. I was on the other side of the road, you know, just being super excited, like, oh my god, Margaret is gonna be in the game, what? You know, like, it's just a fantastic game. Like, I really, really adore it. Even, you know, again, that's the kind of game that, you know, playing in a multiplayer is really fun, coming from a guy who's not a big fan of that usually. The story mode, oh my god, the story is so good, I love it. And again, the music is fantastic, but Shoji Meguro is the man making the soundtrack for that. But yeah, I mean, in terms of mechanics, I thought the P4 Arena 1 was very fantastic. And the second one just improves upon it even more. And yeah, goddamn good game. And I really hope that people pay more attention to it, because there are many other folks that are like, no, Ultra Street Fighter 4, and like, sure, those are fantastic games, but, you know, let's give a little bit more of the spotlight to Persona 4 Arena. That's still a pretty damn awesome game, too, that not a lot of people are paying attention to, if you're not, like, a fan of Persona 4 already. Okay, let's see. What else do we have on the list? Number 2, we have Binding of Isaac Rebirth. Now, I don't know if this one really counts. It came out in 2014, so it does, of course, count, but this is a remake. This is not actually, like, an original game that came out. You know, Binding of Isaac, like, the original one, was kind of a flash game that I think appeared on Newgrounds, and then it became like its own full-fledged title. and everybody played that forever. I mean, people still play it today, the older one. But then Rebirth came out, which is what I think a remake should be, you know? Again, kind of like Oddworld New and Tasty, you know? Just, that's how a remake should be. Just completely from scratch, do everything to make it more modern, make it look better, make it sound better, make it play better, and just fill it up with way more content than before to give you a very enriched experience, rather than just re-releasing the same game and then say, oh, it's the HD collection, you know, like Ratchet and Clank or Shadow of the Colossus, which are all great games, but, you know, they don't... You can't really feel the HD remake-ness of it, you know? But here, everything is completely redone. It definitely is a rebirth. And so, I think is very addicting. I love playing it on PC, very smooth 60 FPS, and I love playing it on my Vita. Like, I have Binding of Isaac Rebirth on my PS Vita, and I have more fun playing it here on the go than actually playing it on my PC. And of course, oh, PC is the superior way of doing it. Yes, I know, but just on my Vita, on that beautiful screen, like, it's just, you cannot pass it up. It's just because I can take it wherever I go. I play it all the time. I cannot stop, you know, just beating the game a million times, getting all of the items, and doing all the different challenges. It is definitely a sight to behold. I highly recommend it. Binding of Isaac Rebirth, that's where it's at. You know, I just kind of realized that I have a really weird twitch on my eye. That's kind of weird. Huh. Probably gonna have to get that checked out. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so, the #1 game for 2014, which is kind of an arbitrary thing. Personally, I think that all of the games that I mentioned here are equally as awesome. But, you know, #1, because, you know, that's just the way numbers work, is Scrolls! Yes, I kind of hinted it out on my Twitter. I kind of hinted at it. Oh, you know, I can't believe that I actually have a collectible card game on my list of top 10 greatest games of all time, sorry. To my top 10 games of 2014, that is not Hearthstone. Every single time I see a top 10 of, you know, the best games of 2014, everybody points at Hearthstone. And even though I like Hearthstone a lot as well, I feel like we should give a little bit of the spotlight to another game that I enjoyed dearly, and I just realized that the door, it was open. It should have been closed. Now the continuity is all screwed up. Oh no! So Scrolls is a game made by Mojang, and of course, everybody knows Mojang for making Minecraft. And so, yeah, I mean, I feel like they're conquering my life. First, they consumed all of my time, Mojang creating Minecraft, and I'm just playing that all day, every day. And then after that, I'm like, I'm done with Minecraft, I'm done, I'm gonna leave it there, maybe I'll play it once in a while. But then they come out with Scrolls, and here they are conquering my life again. Hours playing Scrolls. Oh my god, I love that game so much. It's not as simple as playing Hearthstone. It's more like, you know, the cards are scrolls, and so all of these scrolls, they do a whole bunch of different things. But as soon as, when you draw and you put a scroll on the table, it is not like just the scroll. It actually transforms into like a figure, you know. You can, oh, I'm gonna put like a soldier, and you place like a soldier on the table, and you can move them around in this kind of hex-based board. And it's really cool. It adds a level of strategy to something that would be, I don't know, like something like Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, like, oh, you know, I put my card here, and that's 3 attack, and that kills your thing, and done, you know? Here you actually have to move characters around to see, okay, which row do I want to put him in, you know, how can I destroy the idol that actually takes him out of the game, you know, and you have enchantments, you have spells, the art direction, oh my god, the art direction for Scrolls is really, really good. I just love the way that all of them are drawn. I love the look of all of the cards, you know, the usual thing, the uncommons, the rares. I love the business model as well. You just have to pay $5. I paid $5 for the game. And then after that, you don't have to spend a single dime. There are some optional microtransactions where you can buy some shards to buy, you know, stuff like avatars or card packs and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, the only way that you can get money in order to get more scrolls is by playing the game. Whether you win or lose, you gain more money. And with that, you can use it to buy packs, either from specific factions, or just random ones, or just a pack of 10 that gives you, you know, some cards for all of the factions. The online play is really fun, is really cool. I have spent way too much time playing Scrolls, and you've seen me. You've seen me play Scrolls with a live stream highlight that I uploaded not that long ago. And I plan on uploading more stuff and playing more Scrolls and playing them live on a live stream because I just love the game so much. And I probably love it even more than Hearthstone because of that added level of complexity with the strategizing on the hex-based board. And there you go. That's my top 10. So to recap on all of the games that I that I mentioned. I'm gonna go down here. I have all the list here on my phone. Thank you, notes section. So number 10 is Jackbox Party Pack. Number 9, Senran Kagura Shinovi Versus. Number 8, Shovel Knight. Number 7, Lisa the RPG. Number 6, Transistor. Number 5, Super Smash Brothers, both the 3DS and the Wii U one. Number 4, Bayonetta 2. Number 3, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Number 2, Binding of Isaac Rebirth. And number 1, Scrolls. And there you go, that's my top 10. But I have another list down here, which are the honorable mentions. So if the top 10 was very brief, the honorable mentions are going to be even briefer. Even more brief. There we go. Briefer's not a word. Anyway, these are all the games that, even though they're not part of like the official top 10 list, they're still games that I kind of wanted to mention because I enjoyed them and I thought that they were really cool, that came out this year. There are some games that have already come out before in other countries, but technically in North America they came out this year, and I played them this year, and I really enjoyed them, and I thought that I'd mention them and give them a little bit of the spotlight, if I may. So here we go, very, very quickly. So here we have Luftrausers by, what was the name of that company? Man, I forget. Blazblue. There we go. Luftrauser by Blazblue. It's literally just plain airplanes. You know, you play airplane, you shoot other airplanes. It has a great art style. Very simple. Exactly how you would expect out of a Blazblue game. Very simple, very kind of retro looking. A lot of cool upgrades, a lot of awesome visual effects, sound effects. The music's great. And I don't know, I mean, it's a very simple arcadey type airplane game. You can buy it on Steam, it's very cheap, highly recommended. You also have Bravely Default. I've said this many times, I feel like this is the direction that they should have taken the Final Fantasy franchise a long time ago. And now while they're busy making Final Fantasy 14 million, making it look prettier and prettier and prettier, but with less substance, you have stuff like Bravely Default just rocking the 3DS marketplace, which is, I'm very happy. I want more Bravely Default. Speaking of Bravely Default, we have Persona Q. That's another JRPG that's out on the 3DS that you should all buy. I know, I'm a big Persona fan. I'm a slave to Atlus. Atlus is my favorite company in the entire industry. I just love them to death. And Persona Q really doesn't fail in terms of, you know, having good characterization, having a good story, good music, good art design, and of course, just having all that Persona goodness that a lot of fans have come to love. We also have Ascendant. Ascendant is another one of those, kind of like Lisa the RPG, in the sense that they're these kind of obscure-ish games that you find on Steam. Ascendant is kind of a roguelike, a 2D platforming roguelike. You've seen a checking out video of me doing that game. You can go and click on, I think I'm going to leave like a little link or an annotation here, but yeah, my checking out Ascendant video will be there where I explain more in detail what the game is about and my experience going into it. I love that game to death. It's really cool and it doesn't even get a fraction of the attention that it deserves. I love it. I mean, it's one of those rare occasions where you go on Steam and you look at like indie games and roguelikes and that kind of stuff, which seems to be like the very popular genre right now, like indie platforming roguelike or something like that. And that's actually one of the good ones. So I highly recommend you go check that one out on Steam. And of course, the other one that we have on the list is Hearthstone. Hey! But the hat person, didn't you say that you played Scrolls? Well, I do play Scrolls, but I also said that I think Hearthstone is a fantastic game. I mean, I think if it weren't for Hearthstone coming out at around the same time that Scrolls did, Scrolls would have probably have like equal standing, you know, between the two. But because, you know, Hearthstone belongs to Blizzard, and Blizzard is like the mother of all companies, they just immediately like just barraged everybody with marketing, and now everybody knows and loves Hearthstone, even though I think Scrolls should also deserve a little bit more attention and love. But yeah, Hearthstone is fantastic. I love the expansions. I love the single player modes. Again, you know, me being a very single player focused guy, I love the way that the cards look. I love all of the World of Warcraft stuff that surrounds it. The music in the background is really awesome. Playing ladder on it is really fun. And I just love all of the updates that have been coming out with new cards, the legendaries, and how they really make it seem like this big epic thing when it's people just playing with cards. So next up on the list, after Hearthstone, we have Vibriven. There we go. Hey, Vibriven. That one's weird. You might be saying, hey, that's a very old game from the PlayStation 1 games. From the PlayStation 1 days, not games. But anyway, yeah, I mean, sure. That's a PS1 classic. They came out very recently. So yeah, this game came out in Japan and in Europe, I think, in like the year 2000. that was like a long ass time ago, but it never came out in North America until this year, very recently, and so I never had the opportunity to play it until it actually came out on the PlayStation Network, and I downloaded it. I heard a lot of people raving about it, that it was a great game, and I played it, and yes, exactly, it is a fantastic game. I love the rhythm, the rhythm controls. I love putting in a CD, putting the Blazblue CD in there, and just hearing all of my music and stuff, and playing it as levels in the game. The art style is very simplistic, but very vibrant at the same time, probably due to the very exuberant, very cartoonish mascot that accompanies the game, which I think is fantastic. Next up, we have Guilty Gear Exert Sign. Yeah, now that we're speaking of Blazblue and stuff. So Guilty Gear, it just rocks. I mean, the music is a little cheesy, but very hardcore, very, very cool. It gets you pumped up for a fight. The way that they fuse the 2D and the 3D together, where you can clearly tell that it's a 3D image, but it feels like you're watching like a 2D anime. And just, it's very confusing. Like, you know that they did a fantastic job when they blended so much. You can feel like, is this like hand-drawn animation? Or is it CGI? Like, I can't tell, you know, it's impossible to tell, and that's the genius of it. It just looks so fantastically well, and it's unbelievable how we can keep coming up with more creative ways of making a fighting game look. And then again, you know, the characters are really fun. They all control in very different ways, you know, just like how I would expect Arc System Works to make their 2D fighting games. I mean, it looks gorgeous, the music sounds amazing. I don't know anything about the story. This is actually my very first Guilty Gear that I've ever played, but hey, I'm very much willing to explore the previous ones if this one is that good. So next up, speaking of fighting games, we have Arcana Heart 3 Love Max. Oh yes, here I go. Here's my moment where I start completely gushing about Arcana Heart again. Well, actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. Because technically Arcana Heart 3 already came out, but this is like a brand new release that has like a little bit of expanded stuff in it. And it did come out in 2014, so it still counts. But yeah, I mean, everybody knows what I think about Arcana Heart, especially Arcana Heart 3. So I think I've talked about it already in my channel like 4 times. So it was my top 20 greatest games of all time, my checking out Arcana Heart 3, my Arcana Heart the original review, and I don't know where else. I think right now, this is like the 4th time talking about it. So yeah, go to my channel and watch all of those videos, because I talk about all of those games in great detail. So yeah, you don't need me repeating the same thing I've always been repeating, you know, up until this day. You know, the gameplay-wise is great, music, story, and all that kind of stuff, not really, it's kind of subpar, but the art style is bright and awesome, and gameplay is fantastic, so go ahead, go and play it. Now, let's see, what other... Yeah, we have one more fighting game. You guys already know I'm a big fighting game fan, so Blazblue Chrono Phantasma is another one that I really loved a lot. The 3rd in the series of Blazblue titles. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love the story in Blazblue. I love the lore behind it as well. I love all of the terminology. I love all the characters, their individual perspective on everything. And then, of course, the fighting system in the game is really, really awesome. Had the super exaggerated art style to everything. Like, every single window seems to have like this giant spikes and wings, and you know, something that Tetsuya Nomura would probably design. But it's a fantastic game, and every single time, with every single iteration, they have kept on improving upon what they already have, giving more of an offensive focus rather than defense. I think Continuum Shift is a little bit better. To me, that's like my Smash Brothers Melee, and to me, Chrono Phantasma is like my Smash Brothers Brawl. You know, it's still a great game, but I like the other one better, you know? But I highly recommend it. The story is great, just a bunch of twists and turns. If you guys already know about, you know, the previous stories from the previous games, then you guys are gonna love the 3rd one. That's pretty much all I have to say. It's a fantastic game, and I keep playing it. Well, actually, no. I've played it, but I actually haven't purchased it for myself yet, because as I freaking called it, Blazblue Chrono Phantasma Extend is coming out for Vita and PS3, PS4, you know, all those kind of things with all of the DLC included, and so yes, I was waiting for that, because they always do that shit. Anyway, now speaking of Blazblue, the last and final honorable mention that I have here is XBlaze Code Embryo. That game kind of defines how I think all visual novels should be. You know, because most visual novel games, or games that have that kind of style in terms of storytelling, it's always like two characters, you know, like one character on the left, one character on the right, and they just keep talking back and forth with like a text box at the bottom. And so, even though I think that kind of works sometimes, I don't think is the ideal way of doing it. Like that, you're not even tapping into the potential at all. And so with Code Embryo, it actually feels like I'm reading or, you know, watching some sort of anime or a manga. More of a manga than an anime, because they're all kind of still. But they're all different images. You have different camera angles, different shots, you have close-up shots, you have wide shots, you have actual changes in the scenery, rather than just seeing two people talk back and forth for like 30 minutes, you know? And then sometimes changing the background or having the still image of the character just kind of move around a little bit. Here, there are actual individual images and photos and pictures. Again, it's like turning the pages of a manga and seeing it fully voice acted with awesome color. And that's how I feel like XBlaze is really going to set the example for many visual novels to come. And again, you know, because it's set in the Blazblue universe, set before the actual Blazblue games, like 200 years prior, I think. Yeah, it actually gives you a lot of insight into the lore, all of the characters, and you're like, hey, this character is the same as that one, you know? Is that kind of fanboyish stuff that I usually get into. But, yeah, I feel like it's a great game for people who are already fans of the Blazblue universe and who love visual novels. It's going to be a massive improvement. After playing Code Embryo, XBlaze Code Embryo, you're never going to look at any other visual novel in the same way. You're going to want them to be just like XBlaze. And you have a sequel right around the corner, so yeah, look out for that. And that's it. Those are all of my games of 2014. That's my top 10, and then my honorable mentions right there on the side as well. This turned out to be a pretty long video, like 30 minutes, I think. Actually, let me put my glasses back on. How much time do I have left? I have 4 minutes. Oh, well, this turned out pretty well. I don't know. I was kind of wanting to do something a little bit more elaborate, you know, very similar to the scripted videos, where I have a lot of editing and like an actual full-on written-out script. But I just arrived from my holiday vacations, and all of the videos that I archived to kind of just start releasing day by day, all of the videos that I have scheduled are starting to run out. So I actually have to start recording a bunch of stuff right now, and I only have like 2 weeks left for vacation. So I'm working on stuff on like videos all the time. So I have Senran Kagura, I have I already finished Transistor, so that's done. I have Senran Kagura, I have Persona 3 Fez, which, yeah, if you guys haven't seen my vlog, my PS3's fixed, so Persona 3 Fez is coming back. Senran Kagura, P3 Fez, and Mother 4 is very close to coming out. I don't know when, but it's very close, and as soon as that game comes out, I'm going to be playing that all the way because I love Mother. Even if it is a fan-made game, I'm going to play that. Lisa the RPG, the game works now. In my checking out video, it kind of crashed on me like at the end, but that bug has been fixed, and I'm going to be playing the hell out of that. So, yeah, that's already 4 videos, but I got to take it a step at a time. Anyway, so now it's your turn. If you guys agree with me, or if you disagree with me, or if you have your own list of games that you want to talk about, then go ahead and write them down in the comments. You know, go down there and type in, well, you know, I agree with you, or I think your opinions are stupid, or I hate your beard, or you should go kill yourself, or whatever. Or you can also make your own top 10 list, or your own honorable mentions, because, yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing that people do. I'm the Hat Person, and if you guys liked this video, be sure to give it a like, and of course, subscribe so you stay updated on everything that's been going on this channel, and so you never miss a single thing when it comes out. Yeah, I've been working a lot of stuff, and I just kind of want to get my opinions on the New Year's, the previous year, out of the way first, and so I could then move on to doing more stuff, because if I don't do it now, then it is going to be too late. So yeah, I adored all of these games that I played, and hopefully we have even better stuff to look forward to in 2015. A lot of these were very small, kind of like AA, you know, indie titles, or, you know, from companies that are not as big that ended up being my games of the year. There are very few that were actually like AAA titles, you know, stuff like Bayonetta 2 or, you know, Hearthstone, those kinds of things. But, you know, generally speaking, it was a huge year for indies and kind of smaller companies. You know, people seem to be saying there's a horrible year for games in terms of AAA. So hopefully they can get their ass in gear and do something better. Anyway, that's all for me. I'm the Hat Person, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.